Now it's time for our third talk of the day on the technical track. We have Ksenia Zvereva, who is the developer community lead at Mollie, connecting product engineering teams with the developer community. She's dedicated to building networks of people who love technology. Ksenia has 10 years of expertise in the IT industry, covering topics such as data production, cloud infrastructure, e-commerce, development relations, and community initiatives. Please welcome Ksenia to the stage.
All right, that was pretty impressive introduction, better than I could give to myself. All right, thank you so much. So this is my first time on the Meet Magento UK stage, not the first time on the stage. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, as you may see, we're going to talk about supporting women in tech. My name is Ksenia. I'm based in Amsterdam, so I'm here Team Dutch with the rest of the ladies. Ooh, yeah. So as Maciek mentioned, I connect users and product teams. I also have a baby cat, Tiffany. So for those who are into cats or pets, we can definitely take it offline and share pictures, discuss breeds, and all of that. And one fact that I'm pretty proud about, I have a pretty high Uber rating, and I want to brag about that, okay? I don't know if that's going to change after my trip to London, so no promises. But currently, it's 4.98, okay? Thank you. Thank you. I wanted that. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to start the story. I want you to meet somebody. I want you to meet this little girl. So this little girl loved puzzles and hated everything, I would say stereotypic girlish, pink outfits, skirts, bows in her hair, all of this stuff. At 8 years old, she would get her first Dendy. For those who don't know, Eastern European space, it was like a ripoff for Nintendo console. So it's like Eastern European guys were doing their best something to play with. And she was really good at Mortal Kombat. Okay, so at 14, she could easily install OS by herself, all applications on their computer, and yeah. But the fun part, or maybe not that fun for her, that her parents always wanted her to be in finance, or maybe a lawyer, you know, all these stereotypes about what women should be. And this kind of, I mean, I don't blame them, right? It's kind of part of the society thinking what girls should do. Yeah, she entered the tech world at 25. She doesn't know yet, this little girl, that she would face and confront the gender bias. This little girl is me. So I want to start by saying that everything I'm going to talk about, it's based on my experience. And of course, there might be more different ways to support women, to be an ally. I'm not going to talk why you have to do that. I want to make it practical. I want everyone in this room to actually get some insights and that you can, oh, okay, I can start doing this, this, and that. Yeah, so basically every way will be split in two approaches. So I'm going to talk about individual actions. So if you're, I don't know, developer, solution architect, maybe a freelancer, marketer, project manager, and you don't have any leverage over the workplace practices, this is going to be for you. But if you own agency or any, I don't know, C-level person that you can actually do something in a company and influence that, there will be also some tactics for this approach. But before we start, I wanted just to bring some facts. When I was getting ready to this presentation, of course, I did some research, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to convince them what's important, what's not. Like this audience, Magento community, know that for sure. But just look at these numbers. Okay, maybe I can understand their representation of women who choose their STEM path, right? But 10%, only 10% being a senior leadership, or maybe almost 60% when men offered high salaries. I mean, isn't that sound crazy? Like imagine that in the same company for the same role, let's say developer or project manager, you're just being underpaid because of your gender. Nothing else. And I truly believe, call me, I don't know, idealist or something, perfectionist, but I truly believe that we can drive the change, and we can be the change, and we can do the world a better place regardless your gender. Okay, let's start with the first way to be an ally. So it's simple as listen. When I'm talking about listening, I'm talking about staying open-minded, about learning about the challenges, such as these facts, or maybe even going, further and looking into articles, looking into different content. And honestly, just simply ask women. Check in with them, how they're going. Just ask, how's it for you? Do you have anything you need? If you take a look into the individual actions, so as I mentioned, you can definitely foster this culture of inclusivity. You can be more open to feedback, even if it's not something that you would like to hear, right? And challenge your biases. Honestly, I'm doing it all the time for myself. Like, I know that all of us, we have some unconscious biases that we don't really necessarily aware of. And talking about workplace practices, do surveys. Again, listen to women in your workplace. Ask them, make sure it's anonymous. Encourage them to submit, to talk, to give this feedback. And definitely establish some mechanisms so everyone knows, all right, if I want to speak up, if I want to be heard, I know what to do. Another way is speak up. And here I'm talking about two major things. So women should be empowered to speak up. And if you say something, oh my God, how many times I was caught in a situation when I was surrounded by men. And again, I'm not saying that men are all that bad. It's just, again, unconscious bias that exists. And sometimes someone would say, oh, you got your job because you're beautiful, attractive, honestly, insert any other word, and not because of your skills, experience, anything that you learned throughout the career. Sometimes you would stay surrounded by, let's say, a group of 10 people, and nobody ever confirmed this saying that. So for me, this is a little bit not normal. This is a little bit weird as well. And then when sometimes you talk one-on-one with other people in this group, they're like, oh, why would they say that? And I'm like, why were you silent? Why you didn't speak up? Why you didn't confront this person, right? So talking about tactics, again, simple action that everybody can take from this. You actually can influence the environment around you, whether it's in your, friends, workplace, any society, activities, events, and so on and so forth. Stand up against this behavior. So many times I heard even sexist jokes, honestly. I mean, I'm okay now, I'm a decade in tech, so I'm fine, you can do whatever I want, I can stand up for myself, but think about those who are maybe starting out. And they need your support, they need you to be more cautious about what you're saying to them. And support women raising concerns. This is a very, very powerful point. So sometimes you can hear, oh, no, you misunderstood that. They didn't mean that. They're actually so nice and everything. It was just a joke. So if someone raised concern, support them, listen to them, allow them to speak up. For workplace practices, pretty straightforward. There should be a discrimination policy, like zero tolerance, they say it. You have to promote this behavior from the up to bottom, right? So I think leaders play a powerful role in this. And support women in public speaking for presentation opportunities, support them, amplify their voices in the meetings. You can always do that. To give you an example, my manager in Mollie, who is a VP of partnerships, he established this rule that if you're invited to a call, like a group call, not one-on-one, okay, and there are no women present, you can simply cancel it and don't show up, because it's not representation. Okay, another one, be a mentor. So here, most points are about personal mentorship, workplace mentorship, and reverse mentoring. So basically, on the individual tactics and action that you can take, you can do a lot by offering some personal mentorship it's not necessarily should be a part of the formal program, right? You can do that, you can share experiences, you can provide constructive feedback, but again, make sure that you're sharing it as an experience and not like, hey, you're missing out, I know how to do better, right? So this matters, the way you're talking, the way what language you're using, it all matters. Talking about workplace practices, yes, build these formal mentorship programs. Actually, they work pretty nice, and they don't require that much over maintenance, meaning that once you recruit all these mentors and people who would love to contribute, you always have people who are seeking for this guidance and help and would love to be a part of that. So encourage this, formation of discussions, some ERG groups, all of that contribute to supporting women in a workplace. Okay, the next one is about advocating for women. So promote women, advocate women. And here I'm talking not only about like actual promotion, but give them the space, give them the credit for the job they're doing. Ensure women's representation. This is actually a very nice example that I just gave you like a couple of minutes ago, right? Women should be represented. And hey, if you look into the even as business value, okay? If you have a better representation, your product is better. You have a way better view on it. You have more use cases to cover. It just like you're not, unless you're selling your product to men only, even though, still, in this case, women can bring to the table more insights to you that you would be surprised. Again, talking about some individual actions on personal level. Talk about women's successes publicly. So it's actually a very interesting fact that I think there was a study that was done, it was in US, but I think it actually, we in Europe, we can relate to that women always would be hesitant to talk about their achievements rather than men. Just the way we are. There is no thought, it doesn't make anybody better or worse, right? It's just how it is. What you can also do, you can always recommend women for high visibility projects. You can always say, hey, I don't know, Janet here, she's amazing, she's doing this and that. Why not to take her on the team working on this project? Nominate women, talk about them, again, give them credit. If you're owner of the company or you have this leverage, as I mentioned before, make sure that women involved in the leadership processes, that they're actually also part of your leadership team. Be the change, meaning that be there, lead by example, be the change and champion all these initiatives, ERG, all of these groups. And I think it's also very important for companies to speak up publicly about where you stand in terms of gender equality, how do you support inclusivity, what you do. All right, now we're getting into their inclusive workplace. Probably my favorite part, and honestly, I can do a separate talk about this. I'm not going to do that, but we're going to cover a few things. So think about it, about even job descriptions, the way you hire people, gender pay gap, of course, and making sure that there is a hybrid schedule. Think about that some women maybe just, I don't know, they gave a birth, so maybe they gave birth like sometime later, and they have kids, and they have to take care of so many things. What can you do here? All right, so on individual level, use inclusive language daily. It sounds so simple, and maybe half of you will be like, oh, I'm okay, I'm doing good, like I do that, but always challenge how you address things, how you talk to your colleagues, how you talk to your friends, how you talk maybe in your other circles where you are. Yeah, you can be actually ambassador, you can be an ally, you can actually talk about resources and promote and advocate and do all of that. In terms of workplace practices, there are so many things that owners can and should do. So I would like even to start with the simple things, restroom facilities, okay? Like, we all grown-ups here, we can talk about that. So first, women has period. Seriously, they do. Why don't you put pads, tampons, disposal options, painkillers. Do you know that some of them have really, really serious pain when they're on period? Does it cost you much to buy some ibuprofen to have in the office? I don't think so. Would it help and would it change dramatically the way you're taking care of your colleagues? Oh yeah, for sure. This is really so obvious, but the more I talk to different people, and again, I'm working with developer communities, so I'm talking daily with so many people. I was like, I have to talk about this. I have to mention that. All right, so we know now what we have to do with our office facilities. Apart from that, offer flexible work schedules. I know after COVID it's kind of better, right? So it's kind of better, and majority of companies offering this. But also think about that, again, that I said earlier, like women sometimes don't have any help with their kids, right? They have to maybe stay home and work from home. More often that you would like that too. But as long as they're efficient, as long as they deliver, why would you even care where they're doing their job from? Pay audits for equal pay. Interesting fact, when I was getting ready, I was reading about all big companies, what they're doing in this. And our friends Adobe, actually, they're doing it on early basis. They do this like parity audit of their, to make sure that men and women in the same role, in the same department, they're on the same range, pay range. I mean, I appreciate that approach. I wish more companies would do that. And a little bit more about the job descriptions. So sometimes when I talk to agencies and their owners and developers and customers, they're like, but how would you hire women, like, and especially developers? Like, it's impossible. We don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, show me your JD. Like, show me what you're selling to them. And you can read through that. It's actually very, very male-oriented. And there are a lot of research out there that you can just Google and say, okay, what's the best copy for, like, what the tone of voice should be to attract women? And sometimes it's even like, I don't know, make less what you require from them. So there was another study from Google. Google did research on their company, because Google is huge, they can do that, that when anybody is reading their JD, so women would apply only when they're 100% fit. Okay, maybe let's say 90% fit, and then they're like, okay, we are confident, we are good, we are applying for this job. Men would apply when they feel like, okay, 30%. I'm good for 30% of this job, I fit this job, I'm in. Again, it doesn't make anyone better or worse, it's just facts, how we can be different, like by nature, you know. You can do that, you can adjust it, you can talk to HR, you can change that. All right, a few words about training. So here, I believe it's important to have mandatory training for human resources. Just something, again, because we have so many, unconscious biases that it's important to address. And some training, like opportunities for women. So on individual level, again, educate yourself, challenge yourself, take part in the diversity workshops, make sure that you're aware about everything that's going on. And talking about the workplace practices, you can introduce more stuff, like you can introduce this inclusive onboarding, hiring process. You can offer some leadership training for women. Of course, it should be equal, it should be offered to everybody, so don't get me wrong. Like, I can tell that, let's say, my biggest mentor in my career, they were men. Like, I admire them, everything they did for me. All right, and last one is about encouraging young women. Okay, how many of you have kids? Could you please raise your hand? Okay, quite a group. How many of you have girls? Okay, lots of you. So look, I believe all of us can be the change. All of us can make this place better. Okay, probably not for my generation, like, I'm okay on my own. Nobody really helped me that much, but imagine for all your kids, for the kids out there, you can actually do something. And it actually, I split it into 3 categories, like family, society, culture changes, self-confidence. But you can encourage them to look into tech. And I don't know, like, there's so much stereotyping about games. Like, I'm nerdy gaming player. I love Nintendo, my PS, and all of that. But I know there's so much stereotyping about, oh, no, if you play games, you can't do that. It's like it's taking your time. You're not learning anything. Encourage any interest in tech. Avoid any stereotype about like what you should do, what you have to do, what you like, okay, oh, you're not that good at this, probably you should be a financial consultant or something. You know, you can do that. And in workplace practices, you can actually support these family-friendly policies, flexible schedule for parents, okay, and also offer some additional perks or leave, like time for leave for those who just gave birth and need some time. So you can actually encourage all of that in your workplace, while on individual level, you definitely can do more for your kids and talking them openly and offering them this amazing world of tech. Okay, 2 more things. So this is a 2 Women in Tech initiative that I'm personally part of. So last month we started Women Who Ship events. It's a Mollie's series of events, and we're going to do that. We started in Amsterdam because I live there, but of course we're going to do that in UK, in France, in Germany. So definitely make sure to check it out. And second is Women in Magento Slack chat, and I have beautiful women here who are part of this. Yay! If you would like to be a part of that, and it's open not only for developers. I know that I represent more technical world, but it's open for everybody. If you're a marketer, commercial person, salesperson, only one rule: you should identify yourself as a woman. Okay. Find me. We'll make sure that we'll add you there, and we'll keep up the conversation there. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.